Hey guys, it's Ancient Lore, your favorite source for ancient history explained simply. And today we're going to be talking about one of history's biggest mysteries, the Bronze Age collapse. So, what actually happened that caused entire civilizations to suddenly fall apart? Let's find out. Imagine waking up in a world where everything just stops working. Entire cities are burning, trade routes that connected kingdoms for centuries suddenly gone. Armies disappear, governments collapse, and one by one, powerful civilizations just vanish from history. And the wild part? This actually happened. Over 3,000 years ago, during what historians call the Bronze Age collapse, some of the most advanced societies in the ancient world basically fell apart in a very short amount of time. To understand how crazy that is, you have to understand what the world looked like before it happened. Back then, the Eastern Mediterranean was full of powerful civilizations. Egypt was at its peak along the Nile, the Hittites controlled large parts of what is now Turkey, and the Mycenaeans dominated Greece. Across the region, wealthy city states were connected through trade and diplomacy, and they weren't isolated at all. They depended on each other. Ships carried goods across the sea, kings exchanged letters and gifts, and entire economies were built on long distance trade networks. One of the most important materials was bronze, which required copper and tin from different regions. Without trade, the entire system would fall apart. But for centuries, this setup worked really well. But then, something changed. Around 1200 BC, things started to collapse almost everywhere at once. Cities were destroyed and abandoned, and archaeologists have found layers of ash and fire in places that had been thriving urban centers. The Hittite Empire completely disappeared from records, and Mycenaean palaces collapsed. Trade networks broke down, and writing systems even disappeared in some regions for hundreds of years. And in Greece, the collapse was so severe it led to what's called the Greek Dark Ages, where life became smaller, poorer, and far less connected than before. So the question is, what caused all of this? Well, one of the most well known theories involves a group of people called the Sea People. Ancient Egyptian records describe invasions from groups attacking by land and sea. These attackers were powerful enough to threaten multiple kingdoms at once. Egypt itself barely managed to survive massive battles against them. But here's the problem. We still don't really know who the Sea People actually were. Some historians think they were raiders or pirates, others think they were entire migrating populations fleeing collapse somewhere else, and some believe they were just one part of a much bigger chain reaction already happening across the region. Another theory points to climate change. Evidence suggests that there may have been long periods of drought during this time. That would have meant crop failures, food shortages, and famines across multiple regions. And when food becomes scarce, everything becomes unstable. People migrate, governments weaken, trade slows down, conflict increases, and societies that depend on complex systems start to break under pressure. But even that alone probably doesn't explain everything. Most historians today think it wasn't just one cause, it was everything happening at the same time. A perfect storm. Imagine a world where trade is already fragile, then suddenly crops fail, and at the same time cities are hit by earthquakes. Migration also increases pressure on borders, and wars break out, and economies weaken. And because everything is connected, one failure spreads into another until eventually the entire system collapses. And that might be the real lesson of the Bronze Age collapse. It wasn't just one empire falling, it was the whole interconnected world system breaking down at once. And even after thousands of years, we still don't fully understand it. We know civilizations fell, we know cities burned, we know the world changed completely. But exactly how it all happened is still one of history's biggest mysteries. And maybe that's why the Bronze Age collapse is still so fascinating today, because it reminds us that even the most powerful civilizations in history are never as stable as they seem, and sometimes everything can fall apart faster than anyone expects. So that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for the channel because I spent a really long time working on this. And as you know, I am a small channel, so it would really mean the world to me if you could just hit that like and subscribe button. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.